Hey everybody. So, I'm a little nervous, but okay, this is the introduction video for Professor Brian Harman's Management 314 class. And I'll just get right into it. Name is Alex De Leon. However, I'm originally from Guatemala, and just like any other Latino immigrant, I have a litany of names. So I'll tell you my first name is my full name is Jorge Alejandro de Leon Reina. That's my whole name. My program major is Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with an option in Finance and an option in Management Operations or Ops Management. I plan to graduate 2020, 2021. Just depends on how many classes I decide to take for the next few semesters. I don't have many classes to go, including this one, 4 classes really to go to graduate. Why did I choose CSU East Bay? It's a long story. However, I will give you the short version. I'm a returning student. I started my undergraduate back in 04, 05. Almost finished. I was working at B of A. In the mortgage operations department. They had a tuition reimbursement program which I was taking full advantage of, and that's when all the when was it, like 2011, 2010, all the countrywide stuff and the recession and all that stuff happened, and one thing led to another. I left. I went to work in another bank, yada yada yada, and I just never got to finish. So now I'm here to finish out my degree. Why did I choose this course? Professor Harman, no offense, but it was just open, and I needed to pick something for my ops management, and it seemed like a good course. I will say, however, that I've already learned some things, which is actually quite refreshing and awesome. So that, in a nutshell, is why I chose CSU East Bay. I used to live in the Bay Area, but now I live in Sacramento. And so that's why I'm now part of the online course or online group. My level of knowledge about management and leadership, I would have to rate it, I don't know, I think probably 7 or 8 out of 10. I have a lot of experience to draw upon. I've been in the mortgage industry for 15 years. I was in the restaurant industry for 10 years. I was in the car industry for 5 years. So I've had a lot of managers and leaders. One of the things, actually, from Professor Harman's video that I never put 2 and 2 together was that good management and leadership are different, and I had never really realized that. But now, thinking on the things that made an impression of me, just really quick. When I was 16, my first job was Safeway, and Rick Roach was his name. He was my store manager, and he said to me that something that always stuck with me, and he said, all managers and leaders that are good, or no, I should say, managers who are good leaders are never afraid to do the grunt work. And at the time, I was 16, and I was mopping, and he took the mop from me, and he proceeded to mop the whole aisle to teach me how to mop correctly. And I was just watching him do my work, and I was really just taken aback by this guy who, was in charge of the entire store, was taking the time out to teach some 16-year-old kid how to mop. It stuck with me, and later on I understood. But yeah, it's definitely true, at least in my view. Managers and leaders, and it's held true through many jobs that I've had, are never afraid to do the grunt work or do, you know, the most insignificant job, because it shows humility, I think. That's my opinion. Another good leader that I had, his name was Bill Brenner, and he always taught me that you have to have a plan. You can't know where you're going if you don't have a plan. He'd call me by my last name. He'd say, "DeLeon, what are you doing today?" And I'd tell him, "Hey, Bill, I'm going to sell some cars." And he said, "Yeah, but how are you going to do it?" I'm like, "What do you mean? People are going to come here. I'm going to sell some cars. Like, you know, that's it." And he said, "You got to have a plan." And he taught me along the way how to do all that. But it stuck. That's another thing that stuck with me. And you always must have a plan to know where you're going. And the epitome of those both was a manager I had at Bank of America. Her name was Vicki Lacey Wright, and I still talk to her to this day. We catch up about once a year now, but we used to catch up every few months. But anyways, Vicki always knew about your personal life, and she knew every one of her employees or everybody that was underneath her. She'd always take the time to say, "Hey, you know, how's your sister? How's your mom?" She always knew. She always took the time to find out personal tidbits about you. Anyways, that's my thoughts on leadership and management. Fun personal facts about myself. I was born in Guatemala City, Guatemala. Came here when I was 8 years old. I grew up in the East Bay, Antioch to be exact. I now live in Sacramento. I have a wonderful and awesome partner. I won't say my wife because we're technically not married, but we should be. Her name's Emily, and she's awesome. I got a picture of her here. That's her right there. She's beautiful, and she's the light of my life. Along with these two little things, I have a 1 and a 3-year-old. My 3-year-old is named Raina. My 1-year-old is named Alexandra. For anybody who catches that Raina is one of my last names and Alex is my middle name, I did not pick those names. Completely, Emily is my wife. I call her my wife even though she's my partner. She was very adamant about the first name, and then she wanted to we call her Allie. She wanted to call Allie Alexandra, and I was saying, "No, I don't want a kid named, you know, both kids are named after me. Let's do something else." She said, No, that's what I want." I'm like, "Okay." So anyways, those are fun personal facts about me. Hobbies, my kids, first and foremost, my family. But I love snowboarding, soccer, wakeboarding, camping, tennis. I go snowboarding in the wintertime when time allows. With kids, it's really hard. But I'm hoping that soon they'll be old enough to ride. And then I'll have a all-the-time partner to go riding with me. Soccer, I play in 2 adult leagues. One's 30 and over, one's 40 and over. What inspires me? My wife, my partner, my confidant, Emily. She inspires me every day. And finally, who is my favorite leader? I had a tough time with that one. But my favorite leader, I would have to say one of them is a guy named Robert Nesta Marley. Most people know him as Bob Marley, and I just think that he was far ahead of his time. You know, he talked about a lot of equality, and I actually have one of his songs here, and I'll read to you just a little bit of it. The song is called War. I'm not going to go into where it came from and all that, but it says, "Until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned, everywhere is war. Until the basic human rights are equally guaranteed to all without regards to race, this is a war." Anyways, that's it for now. Nice to meet everybody, and I hope that we have some more discourse, because this sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks. Have a good day.